Shocking news yesterday from the Federal Reserve and an even more shocking reaction from the gold market. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some funny things that Jerome Powell said yesterday. Funny and sad at the same time. But what does this mean as we move forward for the gold price and the silver price? Guys, I am more encouraged than ever, and I'm going to share with you why as we work through this video. But I am now more confident that we are indeed in a new environment, a new weather pattern. The tide has turned, a paradigm shift, a pivot. I don't care what you want to call it. We are seeing the sun rise for the precious metals. And I believe that we could be in for what likely will be a tremendous year, maybe a tremendous 2 years, 5 years, 10 years for the precious metals. We're going to dig into that in this video. It's a big deal you're here. Thank you very much. So yesterday, the big news, the shocking news. Jerome came out very hawkishly, right? Basically pulled the rug out from underneath this idea that we're going to have a rate cut in March. Now remember, the Fed, whether we like it or not, right, the Federal Reserve has more sway over the precious metal prices than almost anything. They, at least for now, right, are keeping the monetary mirage going. And does it feel like that to you, like it's a monetary mirage? It does to me. That's my opinion. It's all funny money, unicorn fart dust, paper money, electronic money, debt, whatever you want to call it. But the mirage continues, right? The United States has a lot of momentum. The US dollar has a lot of momentum in terms of its sway in the world economy. It's like turning a battleship, right? This de-dollarization. And guys, it's happening all over the world. The world is moving away from the dollar, but it's likely not going to happen overnight, right? Unless there's some major big black swan type event, we're not going to see like an immediate depreciation in the value of the dollar, but it's happening little by little by little by little. Andy Schechtman has some term he uses for that describes that, you know, like if you chip away at a big tree every day, take one swipe at it, eventually you'll chop the thing down, and that's likely what's happening with the dollar on the world stage. But back to the Fed. They came out very hawkish. Are you ready for a little chuckle, my friends? This comes from Adam Taggart, and he wrote out some comments in terms of what some things the Fed said yesterday. Now, this is what Jerome said. He said, the Fed has been perplexed. Let me ask you a question. Does this perplex you? Because our old friend Jerome Powell is perplexed by this, right? Yeah, that Jerome Powell, the one that single-handedly caused you a lot of pain over the last 2 years if you're a silver, gold, or precious metal mining stock investor. Jerome is perplexed. Here, let's just all real quick, right? It's still Jerome Day. He'll take him out one more time. Everybody, remember him? He's perplexed. Does he look? He does look a little perplexed. But listen to this. This is hilarious. Jerome Powell is perplexed. Why consumer confidence readings have been so low? Well, unemployment has been so low. Maybe due to the spike in the cost of living? You think? Powell is happy to see confidence starting to increase. Thinks that could lead to further consumer spending, which would support the current economic strength. That is the biggest bunch of bunk that I've ever heard in my entire life, and it came straight from the mouth of the chairman, whatever his title is, of the Federal Reserve, right? He's perplexed why consumer confidence readings have been so low. Maybe Jerome, it has to do with the fact that Americans can't afford to pay their bills. Maybe it has to do with the fact that their credit cards are maxed out. Maybe it has to do with the fact that their savings accounts are drained. Maybe it has to do with a lot of Americans are now having to suck money out of their 401ks. Just maybe, Jerome, it has to do with that. He thinks consumer confidence is going to increase. I don't think so. Do you think it is? Do you think prices are going to come down? No, they're not. right? They say, oh, we got inflation's not a problem anymore. Well, yeah, it is a problem because prices are elevated. They're not going to come back down, guys. That's not going to happen. Prices are up and they're going to stay up, and the consumer, our incomes aren't going up at the same rate. Consumer confidence isn't going to get any better unless they raise everybody's credit card limit. But I'm telling you right now, I hope you don't have any credit card debt, right? I'm against that, but that's the general America that we're living in. He thinks consumers are going to become more confident. No, it ain't going to happen, right? Consumers are going to become less confident, all right? Then, this is the best. He actually, with a straight face, said this. Did you watch Jerome yesterday? He said, the Fed is deeply sensitive to the pain that high inflation is causing families. Yeah, sure. Yeah, they don't care. They don't care about American families. They care about big business, big money, and the wealthy. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Do you think that the Federal Reserve cares about you and me? No. No, the Federal Reserve cares about big money, big money, big money. You don't have to look any further than how the distribution of wealth has been skewed in this country over the last 20 years, thanks to the actions of the Federal Reserve, to see absolute proof of that. So for him to sit up there with a straight face and say that he's deeply sensitive to the pain that high inflation has caused to the families of America, they look at us like, like little weebles, little people. Trust me. I've been around some of these super high net worth people. They have a different opinion of us normal folks, right, than they purport when they're talking in public, and that's a bunch of BS. Jerome Powell does not care about American families. But what's the good news in this for gold and silver? Let's do something, my friends. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Jerome Powell gives 2 cents about you and me? I'm going to type N for no. All right? Capital N. Do you really believe that Jerome Powell cares about you? I'm curious no, I don't think so. But you can think whatever you want. Maybe you believe that Jerome actually does care about you. But let's go to the sunny side of the street, my friends, because yesterday we had hawkish news from the Fed. Surprisingly hawkish news. Shocking. I'll call it shocking. I was shocked. This doesn't make sense. And we're hearing about potential bank failures now again, right? Because they're ending the bailout program here on March 11th, the bank term funding program. And he's talking about a hawkish tilt, which will mean higher for longer interest rates. I should be down here right now. Let's just check on gold. Gold should be down $48 today. I wonder how it's doing. I haven't checked yet. I wonder how gold's doing today. What? Oh, gold's up $16. What? Yes! Come on, join me. High five, everybody. Gold is up $16. We are in a new, do you believe it? A new environment for the precious metals. It's happened. We've been talking about it for months. We said it back and these things, they turn like battleships very slowly. The fact that gold is up. What's silver doing? Let's go check on silver. What the heck? Yes, silver's up 10 cents. Don't worry, silver's going to catch up like a dramatic little brother, little sister. The fact that we had a hawkish gold and silver are calling Fed's bluff. We don't believe you. Where is he? There he is. Yeah. We don't believe you, Jerome. Sorry. Good try. Good try. That is a unbelievable. Do you believe it? This is an unbelievable good sign for the precious metals prices. Gold should be down $30 or $40 or $50 per ounce today. Unless I missed something, unless there's been some major geopolitical, has there been a major geopolitical event that's unfolded this morning? I don't know. That is a good sign. So we had a double shock. The Fed shocked us with being more hawkish. Gold, we believed in you, but you did shock us. You came through and you're doing well. You're calling the bluff of the Fed. Guess what? Gold, and think about this. This is a new thought. We've been having lots of new thoughts lately, haven't we, basement dwellers? Have you ever thought about this? Silver and gold have been around for a lot longer than the Fed. They're a lot older, they're a lot wiser, and they're calling monkey on the Federal Reserve. Now, I'm going to warn you. Here's a warning. Here's a big warning. You know what's going to happen next. It's time for the clown show. Are you ready? Are you ready for the clown show? Yes, all the local Fed governors, you know, they're in, I think, Richmond, Virginia, St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Boston, San Francisco. There's a whole bunch of these regional Fed banks, and they're whatever they're called, governors, are going to be out in full force, probably starting today or tomorrow, but definitely next week. And right? Remember, the Federal Reserve has become nothing more than a public relations firm, right? That's all they're doing. That's all they can do, because what they're talking about is make-believe. So it all has to be make-believe talk. It's all make-believe. The dollar is, I know, do you have a hard time? I do. I have a hard time. I have to be honest, right? I was born in 1970. Right, the dollar has always, you give me, you flash a stack of $100 bills in front of me and my eyes are going to light up. What? Well, we have a gold update from Susie herself, who's sitting right above me, $19 per ounce. Wow. Thank you, Susie, for that update. The Fed's nothing, oh no, back to my thought. What year were you born in? I was born in 1970, okay? Wow. And I remember it vividly. The day when I was sitting in my cradle and the news came on and President Nixon explained how he was taking us off the gold standard. And my mom said that I cried for a month straight. Nonetheless, we were brainwashed, right? We were brainwashed. The dollar, I still believe it. The dollar has flash. Come over to knock on my door with 10 $100 bills. My eyes will light up. Hey, what you got there, Chucky? Let's go buy some silver or gold. But it's paper. And all the Fed can do is public relations at this point. Because what they're dealing with is not real, right? Is not real. I mean, I'll say this briefly, but it bears repeating for us, you and me, the people that really, really understand the value of precious metals, real money, right? That if our money was still based on real money, silver and gold, right, there would be no attention paid to the Fed. I don't even know if there would be a Fed. If there was, whatever, right? It's a crying shame, but be ready for the clown show, because they're going to come out and they could be, they'll say stuff and the price of gold and silver will move, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Okay. But if this is as bad as it gets for the gold and silver price, right? And this was bad. What came out yesterday, that was a force that would push down silver and gold, right? If this is as bad as it gets, guys, we could be in for some really, really interesting times when it comes to the price of silver and gold. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball, but if you have a crystal ball and you think the price is going to go up, do yourself a favor and check out our sponsor, Pimbex. They make this video and all the videos possible. They always have the best selection, the best prices, the best service. And my experience with them has been they are absolutely trustworthy. And all the fellow basement dwellers who have worked with them, that have given them a shot, have all emailed me. Everyone. I was talking to Mike, one of the owners, yesterday. I said, all I get, and I can look you straight in the eye and tell you this, is positive feedback from my community, our community. This isn't my community. It's not RonTube, it's YouTube. From our I'm a little bit of a narcissist here, aren't I? From our community, positive feedback in their experiences with Pimbex. And don't forget, if you ever get to a point where you're thinking about converting an IRA into metal, absolutely talk to them and see what they can offer. Sure, talk to the company that's advertising on Fox News with some some retired actor, right? And then compare what Pimbex can do for you. And I think you'll find, just like if you buy bullion from them online to be delivered to your house, that you'll get more metal for your money, the same metal, the quality metal, you'll get more of it for your money when you're converting your paper unicorn fart dust money into metals. Thank you, Pimbex, for the sponsorship. Let's move on here. Yeah, if this is as bad as it gets, are we building a base? Will we ever? We could. Okay, I got to ring the bell. We got a coin shop. Chris is yelling at me. Thank you, Chris. And there's a couple extra rings because we got a couple extra dollars added to the gold price and a couple extra dimes being added to the silver price, which we are all very happy about. Man, we've been through it, haven't we? Haven't we? We've been through the mill. The last 2 years have been, especially if you own any of the mining stocks. I'm telling you, these mining stocks are crazy undervalued. We're not going to get deep into that, but we have been put through the mill. The silver lining, pardon the pun, to all of this is if they're giving it all she's got and they can't smash gold and silver down. They're giving it that video, that movie. I'm giving it all you got. The economy. Here's the big key. Now, I forgot the biggest part of the video. Oh my gosh. Here's the excitement, guys. Here's the big deal. Tomorrow, now, the jobs number. We're gonna get tomorrow is February 2nd. And somehow, magically, those Eisenhowers over at the Bureau of Labor and Statistics are going to deliver to us the number of jobs that were created in the month of January. They're working real hard over there, right? Yep. I'm sure we'll get some accurate numbers, but this number that comes out tomorrow is massive, and it will move. So be prepared. Buckle up, Buttercup. Yes, buckle up, because tomorrow, who knows, right? Who knows? We could be back below $2,000 in gold. We could be back at $22, $21 silver. You never know with these characters, because tomorrow they're going to spew out the January jobs numbers. Here, let me tell you what we can expect, and then I'll tell you what we can really expect. Really, yeah, because, it makes me angry what goes on with these job numbers. But tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, we will get non-farm payrolls. We're expecting 175,000 non-farm jobs. Non-farm private payrolls, 150,000. We're expecting the unemployment rate to stay at 3.8%, or to be at 3.8%. So that's what we're expecting. Now, you've been around for a little while, haven't you? If prior experience tells us anything, what we're going to get tomorrow is a big beat on the numbers, and that could be bad for the precious metals. They're going to say, we created all these numbers. This is tomorrow. This is the biggest event now in the history of silver and gold. The jobs numbers tomorrow morning. Like massive, right? Because, and it really is, because now that the Fed is in this holding, pattern, they're watching, everybody's focused on the data, okay? And tomorrow, the jobs number is the big data number. It's the focus, that's what they brainwashed. That's what the PR machine has told everybody. We're going to be watching the data. We're data dependent. We're looking for trends, right? Do you believe this? I don't believe it, right? There's a whole different set of things going on at the Fed. That's the reality. But what everybody believes, and that's what will move the market, is that the Fed is watching the data. And did you forget, right? We're living in the wonderful world of Bidenomics, right? They're telling you how great it is. What's wrong with you? There's all these great jobs out there. There's so many great jobs that you can get more than one. You can get 2 or 3 jobs. right? And that'll help the jobs numbers. You can work a full-time job, you can deliver Big Macs for McDonald's for DoorDash, and you can do like little side work for your neighbors all at the same time. That's Bidenomics. Who doesn't want to just work their whole life away just to put food on the table? Don't worry, you don't need to spend any time with your family or anything like that. Just work all the time. America, the only form of addiction in this country that's sanctioned is workaholism. And Bidenomics is making it possible for you to enjoy a nice life of workaholism. I digress. But now everybody's going to be the biggest news story of the year. It really is. Tomorrow, the jobs number. Because if they come through, and here's what happens. And it is angering to many of us, but this is the reality of what has happened like 12 out of the last 13 months. They're able to, within 2 days, tabulate how many jobs were created in the prior month. The number is always amazing. Oh, we created all these, 25,000. Maybe tomorrow they'll create an extra 100,000 jobs over what's expected, right? And then, buried deep down in the report, okay, they revise the previous 2 months. So tomorrow we're going to get January job numbers. Like these bozos at the Bureau of Lies and Statistics really know how many jobs were created in a month that just ended 2 days ago. Give me a break. You'd be better off going to my daughter's middle school and having her math class try to put the numbers together. But nonetheless, they're going to come out with some great number. And Joe Biden's going to say, the economy is strong and it's working. And then they're going to have that press lady with the crazy hair say, right, okay. That's what's going to happen. Okay. And then, so they're going to say January was unbelievable, Must be that all those extra recreational vehicle sales in the fourth quarter that drove the GDP. Clown show. But then after they're done giving us these great January numbers, they're gonna tell us, but we got some bad news. The December number that last month we told you was so great, we had to revise that down by 50,000 jobs. Oh, in November, that's so long ago. Who cares about November? But we had to also revise that down even further. So when we told you those months were so great, we kind of overestimated. So we're knocking those jobs down. I mean, is it a conspiracy? We're not crazy for calling this crazy. Everybody, it's a joke, right? On Wall Street, I've heard it from many people. So here's some inside information for you. They refer to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics as the Bureau of Lies and Statistics, right? So, but nonetheless, that's the biggest number of the year. It's kind of like going to a fortune teller to get career advice or something. I mean, it's just insane, but it's the way that it is. It's the reality. It's the world that we're living in. Hey guys, please don't forget, give this a thumbs up. We need to get to 200 thumbs up so that we can ring the bell. And please subscribe to the channel. Why? Because we're going to be here every day. You get to make friends, but more important than that, we make friends by sharing a common interest. And our common interest is cutting through the BS. And we're getting bombarded with BS on a daily basis. It's crazy, right? And we have this common interest of gold and silver. So I will always be talking. We'll get together. We're like hanging out around a campfire. We're at Camp Goldie Sylvie. And we're talking about our favorite subject. Please come back. And you can do that by subscribing and hitting the bell. We'll be glad to have you on a regular basis. We got to talk about something that's very unfortunate, very disturbing. I did a deep dive last night into what's going on in the Middle East. And guys, if you listen to like Colonel McGregor and some of these other people that are retired military that give their kind of synopsis of what's going on in the Middle East, it's not a good situation. It is not, with Iran and this push for us to bomb Iran and all the places that we have troops scattered throughout the Middle East, and kind of the double standard that possibly sometimes that we apply to the world, to our geopolitical. It is unfortunate what's going on right now, and what we pray is that no lives are lost, and that no American lives are lost, and that cooler heads prevail. That's always been one of the biggest supporting factors for the silver price and the gold price, the geopolitical turmoil, geopolitical strife. And we're in a powder keg situation over there. The people in the Middle East are not happy with the United States. And it begs me the question, why are we there? I don't understand. And a lot of people are starting to ask this question. Why are we spending the money? Why are we risking the lives? What benefit do we have? What business do we have being there? We got enough problems domestically. We got a border that's being invaded, right? We have a middle class that's being gutted in this country. Why do we have all these troops and spending all this money in the Middle East? And they don't want us there. I mean, is it driven by big business? I don't know. I'm not purporting to be an expert, but it doesn't make sense, right? It makes sense, I guess, if you're an arms manufacturer or a war hawk, but even just on a humanitarian level, it's not making sense. So sorry, I wanted to comment on that. Let's not forget, okay, biggest news in the history of silver and gold tomorrow, the jobs number. Also, let's not forget, in December, the Fed pivoted, okay? That's what we're seeing now, is the big ship started turning. It's happening, and it's happening right now. And it's going to mean support for the precious metal prices. Who was I? Oh, I was talking to John Lee, the CEO of Silver Elephant, yesterday. And he was like, I travel all over the world. I think he said I went to 40 countries last year or something like that. He's like, I get a feel. He said silver right now, at minimum, should be $50 an ounce. Like silver, if you look back 3 years ago and you look at the silver price, the price of everything has gone up, 50% in 3 years? The price of silver has not gone up 50%, right? Silver should be much, much, much higher than it is right now. Absolutely. What about diamonds? Do you invest in diamonds? Maybe you remember like me back in the 90s, I remember it was a big deal. Like diamonds are a good investment. Diamonds are going up in value. You should buy diamonds. Listen, I have some interesting information for you about diamonds. Before we get there, let's say thank you to channel sponsor Fortuna Silver Mines. They dig up the silver and gold. Okay. They are a top-notch company. Fortress balance sheet, effective management. They've built 5 mines that are operating right now, one in Argentina, one in Peru, one in Mexico, one in Burkina Faso, and one in Cote d'Ivoire. They're expanding in West Africa, which is becoming probably one of the most premier mining districts in the world. If you want to learn more, go to their website, fortunasilver.com. Hey, basement dwellers, we got 350 people here. Welcome. Remember, there's the most important person that's with us. I mean, it's true, man, right? You, it really is true. I mean, we're a group of people, but you are important. Don't forget, you're important to a lot of people out there, and you're important to this community. You have great thoughts. Leave some comments. If you're subscribed, you're able to comment here during the live stream. Your comments are always awesome. Hello, Craig Edmonds. Hello, Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. Hello, Coin Shop Chris. Hello, Sassy Silver. Hello. Oh, my gosh. It's always one name I can't remember. Annie Oakley. Sorry, Annie. You're just as important as all of us, okay? Thank you to the moderators. Guys, do me a favor. Let's type 8 for the moderators, and let's talk about diamonds. Let's talk about diamonds. Hold on. And how that relates to gold. Very interesting comparison. Would you have been better off buying gold or diamonds? You might be shocked, okay? Actually, this came from Schiff. Valentine's Day is here. Don't forget about the Ron's Basement Valentine's Day giveaway. There's a link in this video and all the videos on how you can enter to win over 25 ounces of silver. But Valentine's Day is here, and you might find yourself buying or wish you had money to buy a Valentine's Day present. Don't forget, it's in what, 16 days. A classic romantic present involves gold, diamonds, and sometimes both. And both gold and diamonds seem at first blush to have a lot in common. Okay, they're beautiful, blah, blah, blah. But here's the situation. Here, I'm going to show you this very interesting chart. This is diamonds from 2000. This is 20 years of diamonds versus gold. Hold on. That's not working. Hold on here. Gold is the gold colored line, and diamonds is the gray colored line. There's no question that gold has way outperformed the value of diamonds over, hold on there, get it closer. There we go. No doubt that gold has outperformed diamonds over the last 20 years. So when you hear people talk about diamonds, and there's people now that have diamonds that are embedded in these cards you can buy as an investment, gold has proven itself. I mean, diamonds really didn't become valuable, I think the article says, till like 40 or 50 years ago. Diamonds are great. They're beautiful, whatever. Girl's best friend, blah, blah, blah. They don't compete with gold, okay? You know what else, in my opinion, doesn't compete with gold? And I'm going to get some ding-dongs thrown at me for this one. But cryptocurrencies. All right, I think cryptocurrencies are great. I think it's an interesting concept. I love the blockchain, all that great stuff. But at the end of the day, I am a gold and silver guy. I like the physical metal. I like the mining stocks. All right, I don't know that it'll be interesting. I could be dead wrong. We could, 10 years from now, maybe, cryptos are ruling the world. CBDCs are ruling the world. But nonetheless, in my opinion, nothing really competes with. So I just look at the history, 5,000 years of history in the metals, okay? Walmart is opening 150 new stores. I thought that was interesting. But, is the economy expanding, or is it that more and more people are being forced to shop? Oh, thank you, Metal Seer. I forgot, Blood Diamonds. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. Hey, guys, super chats are super appreciated. So thank you, Metal Seer. But are we seeing this 150 new start? Is Walmart doing well actually a sign that the economy is struggling? Because you have people like in my neighborhood, right, that are upper middle class-ish type people that are maybe used to go shopping at the fancy grocery store that we have right around the corner where everything seems to be overpriced. But now they're opting instead to go to Walmart. We haven't talked about that in a while, right? And those people that used to be able to go to Walmart are shopping at the dollar store. Have you heard about this big trend, like dollar store? People are showing like different meals you can make with food items you buy at the dollar store. Everything is moving down in terms of where people are shopping. We know places like Macy's are laying off. Heck, we even know that Amazon is laying off people. So there's signs everywhere that we've got some economic slowdown occurring. I wouldn't read too much into this idea that, Walmart's expanding, the U.S. economy is doing great. I mean, Walmart is a fine store, no doubt about it, right? They have a lot of name brand products, but that's where people go when they need to save money. So the fact that they're expanding, to me, could be seen as a sign that the economy is indeed slowing down. But maybe tomorrow we're going to hear unbelievable news about the job market, right? The job, how many extra tens of thousands of jobs were created in the month of January. Don't forget, guys, they always revise the numbers down in the future. And I think that we can be super excited, super encouraged right now by the fact that let's do an update. Hey, we need a few more thumbs up so we can get to 200 so I can ring the bell. Please give this video a thumbs up. Let's take a quick look at the gold price. As what? Gold is up $20 per ounce in the spot market, $2,060 per ounce. Wow. I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comments, was there some big major geopolitical event? Did something happen in the Middle East? Something, I mean, is this just natural demand for gold? And let's check silver. Silver's up 22 cents an ounce, $23.14 in the spot market, according to our friends at Kitco. Let's do something interesting. Because I got sidetracked this morning with honeydews. I'm going to look up real quick bank failure, because some of these my fellow YouTubers are saying there's bank failure coming. I'm down a bid to prevent. I don't see it. Okay. But apparently there were some news stories out about a potential bank failure that was occurring. Does anybody know about that? PMs are up. Hey, Jake, Shanghai Exchange. Yes, I mean, it's. Do you realize that right now silver on the Shanghai Gold Exchange is somewhere between $2 and $3 an ounce more expensive? In the Shanghai Gold Exchange, I didn't know this. Somebody said this, that they bought the LME, and now they're warehousing metal in Shanghai. The Chinese are taking over the metals markets. I mean, what does it mean, huh? Arbitrage. A big Japanese bank tanked. Thank you. And commercial real estate woes. Wow. Hello, Francesco. Hello. Please stack the like. Let's have some fun, basement dwellers. It's been a while. We are a very elite group of the general population. If we were in the military, we'd be like the Blue Angel fighter pilots or the Green Berets, all of us, men, women, but that's what we are in the financial world. We are kind of an elite group set off to the side. And to prove that to you, we joined together from literally all over the world. I want you, and I'm going to put in it right now, I'm in St. Louis. I want you to type in there where you're joining from. And I just want to read off. I can't read every single one because we've had so many people in here now. But New Community Bank Corp. Okay, is that the bank that is having troubles? I want to read where you're from. Hello, Annie Oakley. Hello, Susie's in the living room. James Berryhill's in Cincinnati, Dave Metcalf's in New Mexico, Leanne Trevino in San Diego, CM in Oregon, Les in Arizona, Patriot Paul in Kentucky, Coinshop Chris on the moon, Dwight Carlson in Bakersfield, Brandon in Florida, Land of the Free in California, Blade in Mount Dora, Florida, Pismo Beach, Paul, Sweden, Alban, good to see you, my friend. And thank you guys again for all the super chats today and in the past. Super appreciated. California, Centerville, Texas, Jake, Custom Parts, good to see you. The Lone Rangers in Oregon, Illinois, Osman, New Brunswick, Canada, Daniel Casse, I probably pronounced that wrong. Dennis Smith, St. A, Sooner Bear, Oklahoma. We got Toronto, Francesco. I was just in Toronto. Crazy, great city. Malice, the bank. Okay, hold on. Issues. Okay, I'm going to get back to that. Hal Ward's in Alberta. Spirit Lake, Iowa. William. Annie Oakley, Kansas. Good to see you, Annie. Old Hick, Tennessee. Terrell, South Carolina. Chinetta, Old Dirty Bastard Garage. Michigan West, Washington State, Craig Edmonds, unfortunately. Florida, Bradley. Hope you're feeling better, Craig. Everybody tell Craig get well soon, please. It's pronounced KC. Oh, Casey. Okay, Daniel Casey. Thank you, Daniel Casey. Flannel Capital, New York Community Bank stop. All right, hold on. South Africa. My great grandpa was from South Africa. I always say that. Haven't said it for a while. Utah, Zachary. Mark's from South Africa. Darren from the UK. Israel, MG. Be safe, my friend. Let's pray for peace. Ron McAdams in Texas. Supplemental dinner, New England. Evansville, Indiana. How are you today? I'm doing okay. Thank you. Ohio. Metal Sear. Okay, hold on here. God bless. Croatia. See, guys, we are from everywhere. Metal Sear, thank you. Signature Bank failed, third largest in history. Yeah, I mean, hold on a second. I'm going to pull out the charts. We haven't done this for a while. Look at you guys, man. We are everywhere. Fred in Ontario, Dean in Ohio. Wow. Okay, Atlanta, Metal Sear. Metal, thanks again. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Craig. Thank you, Metal Sear. Mark Jameson, Annie Oakley, long live the coins. Okay, wow, the Carolinas, Dr. Jekyll, Old Dirty Bastard Garage up in Canada. Wait till Coin Shop Chris and I come to visit you. We are going on a world tour. If you don't know that, Coin Shop Chris and I, when silver hits $85 an ounce, we're going to be driving around the country in an RV, and we're going to come visit you and park in your driveway, and you and your wife are going to cook dinner for us, and we're going to make a live stream from your basement. How you like that, huh? How you like that? Old Dirty Bastard Garage. All right, James Berry. Levi's laid off all these people. So thank you to everyone. We are all over the world, right? But we are just a sliver of the population. Just a sliver. I think we're 1 in 343 people. I'm going to ask you another question, okay? My laboratory. We're going to go to Dr. Jekyll's laboratory. We are 1 in if you live, whatever country you live in, what do you think we are? 1? I think we're 1 in the United States. Silver enthusiasts, gold enthusiasts. I think we're 1 in honestly, 260 people. So I'm going to type 260. I'm curious what you think. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think? I mean, people that buy metal and convert their fiat into metal. Not all of it, but let's say a good portion of it. What do you think? I think we're 1 in 260. Anybody 1 in 500? Patriot Paul. And then I'm going to tell you a math law that is unbelievably optimistic. 1 in 1,000, Annie Oakley. 1 in 500, supplemental. Craig Edmonds says 1 in 300. Wow, so maybe I'm overly optimistic. I love my silver stacking family. Chowder, 1 in 200. Oliver's in Denver. Okay, now, here's why this is so important. 1 in 2,000. That's what Google says. 1 in 300. Okay, so I was wrong. I apologize. Please don't leave the live stream. Please. You know what? I'm going to light the fire because we got a fire going today. Hold on. You wait. Oh, I got to ring the cowbell. Hold on. On days like today, when the gold price is on fire, I'm going to light a fire here in the basement. A real fire. So hold on. Coin Shop Chris remembers I have this little miniature tabletop fire pit that I almost blew myself up with about a year ago. But this is somewhat safe, I think. Gold and silver on fire. There we go. And we got a fire. Woo! I hope I don't catch the Pinbacks box on fire. Don't forget. Anyway, where was I? Oh, here. Hold on. Let's pull out the charts. That's the governor of New Jersey, and he looks a lot like a weasel, doesn't he? Yeah, he vetoed some legislation that was going to take away the sales tax on silver and gold. Oh, we got an article about that too. We got more big news. So hang on here. Hold on. Here we go. Banks. We're all of a sudden bank failures are popular again. Here's a chart that shows the number of banks in dollar terms that failed during the great financial crisis. So if you look over here, that's the great financial crisis. That's the dollar value of banks that failed. This, guys, is the dollar value of banks that failed less than 1 year ago here in the United States. Okay, it was a big deal. Remember, you couldn't get silver and gold. It was gone, right? The online bullion dealers were making you, that's hot. We're making you wait for like 8 weeks to get your deliveries. The local coin shops had no silver and gold. Guys, we had more bank failures, right? Just less than 1 year ago than the entire great financial crisis. Okay? And yes, the gold and silver price are on fire. I may better turn that down a little bit. Yeah, what the heck? Okay? That's what's going on. I love this. The US dollar. Listen, here's a fun fact for you, silver and gold investors. The United States of America dollar is the world's best performing fiat currency over the last 50 years. Yet, it has lost 98% of its purchasing power relative to gold. Really? Yes. Over the last 50 years, we're number one. America, we're exceptional. And we are in a lot of ways. But our money system stinks. It's BS. It's a clown show. And if America really is exceptional, we're going to get back on to some form of gold and silver standard. I'll say it right now. That's what our founding fathers want. That's what we want. That's what the world may very well force us to do by default. But our number one currency in the world over the last 50 years, dollar number one, lost 98%, despite being number one, lost 98% of its value relative to gold. What does that tell us? What does that tell us? I don't know. All right, big update. Thank you for being here today, Basement Dwellers. On behalf of myself and Susie, thank you for the super chats. Brian Westclock, hold on. Discover Silver. Everybody's talking about Discovery Silver. So, guys, thank you for the super chat. He put the stock symbol there. I don't offer financial advice, but hey, check out Discovery Silver. Don't forget, you can always go to Yahoo Finance, read about it, go to companies' websites, right? I'm sponsored by Fortuna Silver. That's a stock that I own, but I'll check out Discovery Silver, Brian. Thank you for mentioning that. Thank you for mentioning that to the community. Ron, turn off the fire. I'll turn it down. You know, we all have our things, and I have this thing. I like it better when it's up. These little gas, it's like a little, I'll put a link to this in the video. I bought it on Amazon, and it goes with these little containers. You can buy these at Walmart, but these little Swiss, there's a little stove I have that I can put on that, and there's a really cool lantern I'll show you sometime as well. I've got a little fetish, I guess you would call it, for these little isobutane things. These are mostly for like mountain climbers, right? It's like serious hardcore camping stuff. And yeah, anyway, all right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this movement that is going on right now in this country to reclaim, to allow you, right, to reclaim, not to gain, to reclaim what was given to you by the founding fathers of this country, and that is your right to use silver and gold as real money. We have an update. There's so much going on with legislation throughout the country, but here's the latest. This came from Zero Hedge. 4 states consider lifting taxes on precious metal: Georgia, Kentucky, Wisconsin, and Kansas. Okay, so earlier this month, all 4 states introduced or reintroduced bills that would exempt precious metals from either state sales tax, so they're trying to get rid of the sales tax in Kentucky and Wisconsin. One of our regular viewers, Heidi, is from Wisconsin. Can you believe that? If you're in Wisconsin, okay, and you want to go buy some silver, you go in and they're like, oh yeah, we have American Silver Eagles for, $27 each. You buy whatever, 20 of them for $540. And then they say, okay, that's $600 because you got a 6 or 7 or 8 or 10% sales tax. I mean, insane. How can you charge sales tax on money? Again, right? That's like if you went to your bank with 5 $20 bills and said, I want to get 100, and they said, well, you're going to have to give us another $6 because there's tax. I mean, gold and silver are more money than paper money is money, so sales tax on it makes absolutely 0 sense. Okay, now what's even, wow, look at that, Zachary. Thank you, my friend, for the super chat. All right, I'll give Chris a ding dong. He'll add that up, don't you worry. So the sales tax is crazy. But Georgia and Kansas are attempting to get rid of the capital gains tax. Both Kansas and Georgia have already eliminated the sales tax on bullion in the past and are now taking the next logical step in facilitating the use of sound money. Blah, blah, blah. They will lift the capital gains taxes on precious metals. Do you know what a capital gains tax is? Some of you do, some of you don't. I have a degree in accounting. I'm your typical accountant now, aren't I? Capital gain is very simple. You buy something for one price, it goes up in value. That gain that let's say you buy an ounce of silver for $20. Okay, you buy one silver round when it was $20. Silver goes to $25. You go cash it in at your local coin shop for $25. You made a gain of $5. That's called a capital gain. Okay, you bought it for $20, you sold it for $25. You made a $5 gain. Under the current tax laws, on both a federal level and in many states, you have to pay tax not on the full 25, but on the 5, on the gain that you had. You have to pay, depending on how the tax structure is, but you got to pay taxes on that gain. It's counted like, think of it like being counted as extra income. When you do your taxes, you are legally required to report that, yes, I bought a silver round for 20 and sold it for 25, so I had $5 in capital gains, and you would be subjected to capital gains tax. Does that make any sense? Because let me ask you this question, okay? Let me ask you this question. You can also write off capital losses. So if you bought an ounce of silver for $30 and then sold it a year later for $20, right, you have a $10 loss. That's a capital loss. So you can write that off up to a certain limit, blah, blah, blah. Nonetheless, it would reduce your taxable income. So let me just ask this question. Since they charge capital gains and loss apply to precious metals, which makes no sense, since the dollar has gone down in value so much over the last, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, shouldn't we be able to write off a capital loss for any money that we had, any dollars that we had, like in a bank account? Like, you know what? The dollar's been devalued. I had $10,000 in my bank account for the last 3 years. It's gone down by 20% in value. I'm going to write off a $2,000 capital loss. You can't do that, right? You can't do that. And you can't, you aren't taxed on capital gains on dollars although the dollar never goes up in value. Why would they do it to gold? Gold and silver are money, right? The value is what the value is, right? There is no capital gain on gold or so. Sure, if you want to measure it relative to dollars, but it's gold is the money. You measure dollars in terms of gold, right? Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. All right, guys, thanks for being here. From Susie, myself, thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the love and support. I want to see you back here tomorrow. I'll be looking forward to it. Have a great day. Be nice to number one, to yourself, okay? Thank you.